first day of February. We're ripping a 12-team, 2 PPR. So 2 tight end premium here. Post Senior Bowl. If you're not already in here, jump in. If you're watching this on YouTube, jump into the community, DDFFantasyFootball.com. Get you access to this mock tool and everything else on the site, but also access to the community where we're going to do these mocks periodically on stages. This one is going to be a 3-round array with our community. So we have 10 other members of our community along with myself and you doing a post-Senior Bowl mock. Before we get started, just your pulse on how impactful or non-impactful this year's Senior Bowl was. We were texting earlier, and I'm like, I'm not sure what's really changed a lot for me, but just 30 seconds on kind of your thoughts on how the Senior Bowl went in terms of how you're viewing things today versus last week.
Nothing from a fantasy perspective, and nothing. Honestly, nothing. Garrett Nussmeier winning MVP does nothing. He's still going to be quarterback 3, probably. Some people will argue, depending on where he goes, can he push Simpson if he's not a first rounder? Running backs are what they are. There's no receivers coming out of this that feel like anything. My honest reaction is I'm really excited about some of the defensive guys coming out, some of the corners, D tackles, offensive guards. I think there were some really good NFL players coming out of the Senior Bowl, but for fantasy, 0.
Well, we're definitely not going to be taking any DTs or safeties or corners in this mock draft, so we'll go ahead and get started with we're going to go 3 rounds. We're going to go 60-second timer on this one, and we're going to go 2 PPR for tight ends, and we'll go ahead and hit start up here.
And we are recording. We got this joint recording, so the people in the tube can see it. Scott, they need to get in with the community, baby. We got that ADP over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Oh, oh, shit. Hold on.
I don't think the top 5's changed.
The Superflex?
I think it's Superflex. I think it's going to be the same top 5. I mean, honestly, you can pick the receivers in whatever order you want. I think the real draft starts when we get to 6. That's where you have to kind of pick your lane on what you prefer. I mean, we're not doing any running back premium or anything here, so see how interesting how these go. So hopefully everybody's with us that's in this mock draft. If you sign up for these going forward, please try to be here. There we go. Jeremiah Love, 101.
Scott,
Shane up here at 102.
Scott, you notice I took that Trinidad Chambliss out of there. Took that Chambliss out. He has not officially declared, so I took him out. There's no point to keep drafting him right now. Not right now.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't seem like he wants to be in here, so that's just another option that's out of the mix. Mendoza goes 102. Mekhi Lemon, Gene goes Mekhi Lemon, 103. Okay. I'm with you, Gene. Jordan Tyson, 104. Expect Carnell Tate here at 105, and then the draft will actually begin at 106. That's where it starts to get your guy season.
Diaz, IDP is going to be nice. Linebackers, very good. Very good linebackers, very good D-line this year. So you're going to be you'll be in good shape.
Let's talk about, I've been trying to consume as much Senior Bowl content as I can, right? Because I'm not there this year. But it's just been, for as much good, there's just been as much negative or uninspiring results from people that were excited for player X, and then player X didn't do much, and then it was player Y that nobody was talking about. Maybe was a little bit of a surprise. Like, there isn't even one skill player. Like, I have to stretch to find a few skill players that I've pretty much heard consistently positive talk out of the Senior Bowl. I mean, let's see. We got an auto pick. Okay. Carnell Tate, auto pick, 105. All right.
Did he auto or was it queued?
He autoed, but it said auto. I don't know if he had a queue, but it was Carnell Tate. Kenyon Sadiq, 106. I think that's pretty clear in a 2 PPR. He's by default probably your 106. You agree with that? Now what? What do I do here?
No, you could tell if you go to the chat, you could tell if they timed out or if they had a queue. So just FYI, he timed out. So, but what did you say about Kenyon Sadiq, 106? Is he my 106?
In a 2 PPR?
Yeah.
By default, he's got to go here. It's not exciting, but he's got to go there.
Yes, sir. You're on the clock.
I know I'm going to go just as uninspiring, and I'm going to go Ty Simpson at 107. Because I think he's still I think he still goes 107. I'm trying to pick Ty Simpson.
Ugh.
There we go.
Ty Simpson, 107.
I mean, I think he's going to go in the first, Ray. I don't know to where, but like that's how bad this class is. Like you need something good to happen to even be right on that pick.
Man,
And we're already at the damn 107.
I hope so, Scott Connor. I hope so. I don't know, man.
Well, we were talking about it before you jumped in. I think the positive for Ty Simpson is he hasn't done anything. And you listen to NFL pods, and it's still. I was listening to the Yahoo NFL pod today, and they didn't put him in the first of the mock, but they even said at the end of the show, well, Ty Simpson's probably going to go in the first because there's nobody else to pick. So it's like they didn't want to put him in there because they basically said he hasn't done anything to deserve being a first round pick. But when it's all said and done, all it takes is one team with the idea to say, you know what, screw it, we'll take him. And then that's all you need to have him go in this
I
round.
think he's gonna.
Concepcion,
I think he's gonna
108.
need a big pre-draft process. I think he's gonna need. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay.
I
And what do
don't
you think
know.
that entails? Because I don't, if I'm him and you're continually viewed as like the QB2,
You
what
know
can he
what?
do that hurts him?
I'll just say this. Y'all keep saying that shit, man. Who said he's the like? Because Mel Kiper said he's the two. The same way that people kept saying Dante Moore is a guarantee. If he was the guaranteed number 2 pick, he would have came out. Like I'm just not buying that. I don't know if he's just viewed like that. Maybe we think that, but I don't. We do this all the time. I don't buy that right now. Like he wasn't that good to start the year. He'd be in a nasty historical bucket of quarterbacks with less than 15 starts. He's got like 10 in his career. He was awful down the stretch. He didn't do anything. I don't know, man. I am a little more skeptical. I'm just gonna wait that
Well,
one out.
let's just preface my pick at 107 with Ty Simpson is we're also drafting Denzel Boston, Jonah Coleman, and Jadarian Price. I haven't seen weaker first rounders than seeing Jonah Coleman and Jadarian Price. So I'm
Listen,
willing to bet
I'm
today.
not even bashing your pick of him because the pick in the format in which we're playing, it makes sense and I get it. I'm just talking about I just not buying that he's right a locked in loaded
Sure,
first rounder right now. Period, regardless of where he
sure.
was picked at.
And if he doesn't go in the first, all it does is remove another potential option in your rookie drafts.
Man, I don't know
And we,
what to do right here. I have no clue.
eh,
I
who's your
honestly
tight
have.
end two?
That's
Tight
where I
end
was.
two is
That's where I
probably
was
going in the
going.
second round.
That's
That's
where
where I'd
I'm
go.
at the 112. If I show you my phone, it's right on Eli Stowers. That's who I was just gonna
Yep.
take. That was the
I,
pick.
honestly, if I was in this format, I know I don't have the picks at the end of the draft. I would be taking Max Clare and Eli Stowers in the first
That
over Jonah Coleman or Jadarian Price
that
because I
was
think
my
there's a lot more quarterback options or running back options that I could see literally just if Jonah Coleman goes in the third but goes to a shitty spot, there's people that will take fifth round running backs over him because of what nobody cares if you are a third round pick or a fifth round pick. If you don't land in a spot where you're starting or there's a
well.
clear path for opportunity, nobody will care.
You didn't let me explain my pick, man. I didn't even get a chance to talk through it. But yeah,
All right,
Stowers.
I'm shutting up.
I mean, you just said it. Not taking damn
Yeah,
Omar Cooper over him. 2-point reception for tight ends, man. What are we doing? I like Coop. Not taking no damn
so,
third round receiver over him when he's probably going to get day 2 capital more than likely, at least today. Somebody, there
so
will be a tight end who does. If it ain't him, it's somebody else.
well, I think if you're just playing probabilities right now, you're going to have 2 or 3 or 4 tight ends that go in the second or third round after
Agreed.
Sadiq. And in this format, give me those guys over Emmett Johnson, Jonah Coleman, Jadarian Price, however many more running backs are going to go. Like that's just not. They're all going to go in a range where they're very much subject to their scheme and their landing spot. Zero to do with their talent.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
they're good pick there. Gene went Max Clare 203. I mean that's 2 premium. Okay. How's the Nick Singleton injury impact you? I mean, I don't know if you've read up on the injury, but it's still kind of questionable whether it's going to be. I haven't read if he's having surgery or not, but if he does, that's like a 4 to 6 month injury, which means he ain't going to be in OTAs. He may not be ready for camp. And when you're a running back and you're already going in the range of you're just on a 53 and you need to probably earn your job, that's a lot to miss all those reps. You know what I mean? Like, this is not
Yep.
a year where I'm betting that Nick Singleton is starting out with a role, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, I am up. Man, tell you what, I'm about to go back to tight end here.
Where you going?
Screw it. Going Jack Endries, tight end 4.
Oof. What about
Just
it?
format.
What about injuries though?
There's a bunch of tight ends that could go after Stowers and Claire, and I just
Yeah,
like him the
just throwing
best.
it. Do you like him more than Trigg? Jolie, Lake McRae? I think Lake McRae is one of the better ones. People just haven't seen him play.
I do know that the Stanford tight end, a lot of people have talked him up after the Senior Bowl. Sam
Roush.
Roush. I don't know if you've seen him at all, but
Mm-hmm.
I think Oscar Delp 208. I think the process is more just there should probably be like 10 tight ends that go in this mock, given the premium. I mean, Malachi Fields. That was one that consistently got some buzz.
Sniped.
After the Senior Bowl.
Sniped. You
Thus.
got me. You sniped me. That was the pick. That's who I was going to take. Garrett Nussmeier off the board. Oh, man. Let's see what we got. Let me see what we got. Ugh. Man, I'm at the 112, and I just don't want any of them, man. Oh, how do I play this? Do I play this off of who I think is going to get drafted higher in the NFL draft or the scoring format? How do I play it? Who's going to get more capital, therefore people to buy into him maybe a little more, or the format?
Savage score. Sentiment.
Sentiment?
Talk through it. Yep.
All right, then. Sentiment. Chris Brazzell.
Yep, that was going to be the receiver I would have taken if he would have
Chris
fallen. He
Brazzell.
just sometimes falls.
Yep. Chris Brazzell will be the pick. Probably going to get drafted in a decent range, a lot higher than.
Second, probably. Fair to say?
He's probably going to be a second-round pick. I comped him to NVS. Probably going to be a second-round pick, though.
I'll tell you what, I'm probably 2 weeks ago, I would have been different. I'm definitely taking Chris Brazzell over Chris Bell.
Yes.
At this point. So that's definitely one that I would.
Yes.
I'm willing to let fall down. What about Elijah Surratt? Seems like people always take him in this range, but like, I don't know. I like Cooper better than Surratt. Any thoughts on him? And then thoughts on Malachi Fields?
I've liked Cooper better than Surratt the whole time. I've liked Cooper over Surratt the whole time. And you've known that, Scott. Fields, I'd take Brazzell over Fields too. He's fun, man. He's just a big dinosaur receiver. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
He's got a big catch radius, but like real NFL type thing, I'll just take the guy that can run down the field real fast. That will get drafted higher.
Gene just nailed that Taylon Green pick. That is true 4D chess right there when he converts to tight end in a year.
I was going to say they said he couldn't hit they said he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in Mobile, but yeah, I like Green, man. I like Green. Surratt though, yeah, he's one that people feel like he's just going to get drafted higher, but then you look at the measurables and the numbers and it's like he doesn't do anything special, but everyone kind of puts him in this second tier bucket when I don't think there's a big difference between him and a healthy Antonio Williams. It's just funny to listen to people talk about these cats now. Antonio Williams, people had him as like the consensus one. Like that's the wide receiver one coming into the year. McShay had, you don't hear Mekhi Lemon's name at all. He listed off 10 receivers in his top 10 coming into the year, and Mekhi Lemon wasn't one of them. You know?
Yep.
It's just funny. I don't forget because I actually watch the game and pay attention, but I don't think there's a lot of difference between quite a few of these guys, man. Good pick, getting Black right there. That was a nice pick, Big T. He just feels like a running back that's going to go around. Kyle Monangai. That's who he feels like. He's the Kyle Monangai of this class. Love that pick. Where you going, Scott? Diego? He's just shooting right here.
Carson Beck.
Oof.
Hopefully it went through.
No.
Oh, hold on.
How did you? Come on.
I've been picking Carson Beck, but it's my I gotta pause it and change it. I wanted to take Carson Beck. This browser that I'm on. Give me a second.
Yeah,
Dude, it's like a 10-second delay. It's killing me.
What browser are you using? Don't tell me Firefox. You should know better.
No, Firefox sucks.
It's
Dude,
AOL.
this is killing me. No, it's killing me. It's because I'm doing the screen share. I'm typing in literally Carson Beck.
Modzilla? What, isn't that a server? Scott's on that Ask Jeeves with that D.
No, it's because Carson Beck went at the next pick. Come on, Sean.
Damn.
Come on,
Sean.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
Well, Kittle's crew did it. That's why you shouldn't have let it auto, Scott. You really, this one is on you.
I was clicking draft for 20 seconds. So it wasn't me.
All right.
This is the power of having the board.
You got the those commissions in your league, when Scott keeps making those finals, just know he's getting back hell or high water.
We are back on. We're back on. Go.
We're going to blame Lee later.
No, I really was clicking back the whole time, like for the last 20 seconds.
I don't know. You had that you had that cursor over Klubnik, but neither here nor there. Pavia, Beck, Lake McRae. Oh, good pick. Where's my phone at before I auto?
What happened to Jacoby Lane at the Senior Bowl? That seemed to be one that was
Heard he's just too thin, man. Heard he's just too thin. Made some good, nice plays, but heard he's just too thin. Pushed around. Oh, am I on the clock yet?
One more.
Not great returns for Jacoby Lane at the Senior Bowl. Tall, thin, easily pushed around. You know, one of the things that I've really paid attention to, Scott, is how receivers fare against more physical play at corner. And if you just, it's just hard to overcome that. All the good ones in the NFL can beat man coverage, like especially physical man. And if you're not used to that, it's just, you're at a big time disadvantage. Damon Claiborne. All right. Here we go for the final pick.
Could have probably gone 4. It's interesting.
Yeah, we could have gone 4 for sure.
Interesting board. So talk about what stands out to you. I mean, to me, there's a lot of players that I'm still interested picking that are left. And most of the picks probably after the Max Clare pick. And I think I would have even taken him earlier. Because I'm not sure Jadarian Price, Jonah Coleman, and Emmett Johnson are all worth first-round picks. Not with what we know about the RB class. Because there's 8 more running backs I don't mind having on my roster. And I don't think they're three rounds difference than Jonah Coleman and Jadarian Price and Emmett Johnson. But, I mean, what stands out to you? Because this feels like a class, if you just have a bunch of darts and you're having to pick these darts up off waivers or in the 4th round, like, it ain't guaranteed that you're getting worse players than Chris Bell at 209 or Mike Washington at 301. You know what I mean? Or just all the way down the board. But what do you think?
I'll tell you this, and I'm going to answer this based on what I'm seeing and how I'm feeling, Scott. Um, Quarterback is just a disaster. It really is. Even picking a Carson Beck or Diego Pavia, like the reality is, like, what are those guys at the next level? And if they, in some weird universe, got a chance to start or play, like, who's giving you anything for Beck? Who's giving you anything for Taylor Green when he can't hit a simple hitch route? Like, I know we're coming off of a year where, especially in this community, the backup quarterback craze has hit a fever pitch. And I'm not saying these guys aren't worthy of spots, but like Taylor Green, if Jalen Milroe couldn't earn a backup spot, I just don't know how Taylor Green's going to do it. Not in year one, right? If the NFL barely wants to put those guys on the field, the quarterback position stinks. RB, honestly, without knowing draft capital today, Scott Connor, after Jeremiah Love, I don't have to touch a running back through the end of round 2. I'm not even being funny, man. Like Jonah Coleman, you know who is like he's a fun college player, but he's like Mike Davis. I hope that's how he can be. Like you're not talking about Kenneth Walker here. You're not this isn't Brees Halls as the 2. Jadarian Price is a fun player. I like Jadarian Price. I probably would have been tempted to take him here in the first 2, but if you just I'd watch Emmett Johnson, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. I'm looking like that dude at best is Jamal Williams. I hope he could be Jamal Williams. Katron Allen, for the format in the right spot, I would take every Black and Claiborne and Singleton and Washington in rounds 3 or 4. And then the receiver position is just, there's 3 of them I absolutely want, right? Lemon, Tyson, Tate. I want one of those 3. And honestly, I don't care the order. Sure, I've graded them and feel one should be the one, but it doesn't. That's my 3. Then there's a gap, and then another big gap of players. The big takeaway is I really do like the tight ends. Every tight end on the board, I can give you a story how their 4th round picks are better. Justin Jolie, Lake McRae, Michael Trigg in his hands, Delp and the tight end pedigree. That's Georgia. Injuries in his play. Blair, who could be the tight end 2 of the class. Stowers and Sadiq. Like, I could tell you a story about all those guys, and there's still a few tight ends out there that are going to get picked. So in the right format, this is a really nice class of tight ends. So I know you asked me what my initial thoughts were, and I went through every position, but there you go.
Yeah, I mean, for those that are listening or watching and you're in a 2 PPR or a 175, right now I'm looking at consensus mocks, Ray. There's 9 tight ends going in the top 125 picks. That's what you should be using the 3rds and 4ths on if they're still there. Like, there's no reason that probably Sam Roush, Josh Cuevas, Justin Jolie, those guys should get picked over some of the others. I know I took Carson Beck. You could argue that Carson Beck and Diego Pavia, and I don't even think Taylor Green is a quarterback at the next level.
Yeah,
If you just wanted to pick the athlete Taylor Green, fine. But those are more, when I draft Carson Beck, you know what I'm drafting? I'm drafting a guy that I hope is a backup quarterback, and what I really hope is that he lands in a spot where if he ever has to play, the system can elevate him to be a decent quarterback. That's it. If he lands on a shitty team with no weapons, I don't care if he's the backup. I'm not excited if he's the backup for the Jets. You know what I mean? Like, that's the level of pick we're making in the 3rd round. And then honestly, I totally agree with you at running back. I get it. Somebody has to be RB2. But I'm looking right now. It wouldn't shock me if we get to draft day and there's not a single running back that goes in the top 75 besides Jeremiah Love. And then you're like, man, I like Seth McGowan, Jamari Taylor, Adam Randall, Jamarian Miller. I like those guys just as much as the others because they landed on this team, and that team doesn't have an RB2. And all of a sudden, you're throwing the talent Jadarian Price out the window. Who gives a shit what team they go to if they're not in an opportunity-based spot? So, like, if I'm drafting today, I'm simply following the format, and then I'm following the draft capital. And I do think there's going to be a lot of receivers that even if they go in the late second, you're better off drafting Chris Brazzell, because if he goes in the right spot, someone will go, oh man, he can be Troy Franklin. He can be Keyshawn Boutte, right? You know what I mean? And those are guys that do have some flip value. And we're talking about, when I say flip value, like if I gave you the 210 right now, what is that actually worth in historical draft terms? A third?
Yeah.
Maybe? Like, that's how weak the class is. So you have to really be thinking through the specific format and then the purpose of the pick. But I do agree. If we pick today and you're wrong, some of those early running back picks, Katron Allen, Emmett Johnson, they could just go completely up in smoke because their talent's probably not good enough to warrant anything other than where did they go.
And let's just, if we're being real, the later drafted quarterback that's going to get the shot to play quarterback that never gets picked, and he's absolutely going to get a chance to play quarterback at the NFL.
Drew Aller?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I bet you he's got a better chance of getting under center than Taylor Green.
I would agree with that.
Like Diego, like I don't even know, man. We'll see if Pavia gets picked and where he would go and how he would fit. Like, I know we talk about these narratives.
Diego, where does Pavia get picked? Because I know he was somewhat impressive at the Senior Bowl, but I don't see him going in the top 5 rounds. Drew Aller, as much as people don't like him, there's going to be a team that is enamored with him and takes him in the 4th, takes him in the 3rd. And who would you rather have? Because
he's a,
you know what I mean?
a 5'9", 190-pound quarterback that's got a bad attitude and thinks he's better than probably what he is. Like, nobody wants to deal with. He's not worth it. Like, somebody will take a stab later, but I mean, I know we've talked about the narrative, but the closer you get to it and you start looking around, there are probably, without knowing, just based on what, like Carson Beck, Miami didn't even want him to throw the ball. Like this, I know this is revisionist history, Scott, but during the time of the J.J. McCarthy hype, I'm just like, we're watching the games, right? They didn't want him to throw it. How could we not throw the football? Give it to Blake Corum 1,000,000 times and Donovan Edwards and run the ball and then do play action and then throw to Colston Loveland. That might help. They don't even want Beck to throw it. And when they do, just get it out quick to Tony. Get the ball in his hands as quick as possible. Like, I don't need to see how that is going to end at the next level. You know? I just don't. I don't. Diego Pavia, I don't. Taylor Green, I know if he could put all that 6'6" together, and they said he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn out there. The Fields catch, he steps up and launches. He got to dive to go get it. It's out there. I just, it's Simpson. Nussmeier probably gets a crack, right? Aller, and then the other one we'll see, Cade Klubnik. But just like projecting it, it said the dude from North Carolina State, no, sir. Cole Payton, no. Right? Like, there's, I just wouldn't even play around with it this year. The backup quarterbacks I want are probably, would you rather have Jalen Milroe or Carson Beck?
Oh, Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, I think the backups you want are the ones that are kind of in the NFL right now. I'm just Kirk Cousins or Taylor Green. You'd rather Kirk Cousins.
I'm not drafting a backup quarterback. And when I say backup quarterback, meaning a quarterback that doesn't go in the top 50 picks.
Yeah.
If you're picked in the 3rd or 4th or 5th, like, the NFL is already viewing you as a backup. So I have to have a very specific build or strategy in that league to say, okay, I want to collect backups, and then I'll take strategic shots on the guys I like. Carson Beck, Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, whoever it might be. And honestly, the landing spot for a few of those guys is going to matter. Because I'm not even looking at, here's the thing, like, if Carson Beck goes to, let's just say he goes to, like, the Jets in the 4th, okay? His real battle is beating out, like, Brady Cook for the backup. We'll start there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then if he does, then you have to assess the landing spot of like if this quarterback gets a few starts, can the system he's in or the weapons that he's in kind of elevate him to be usable in that window? But that's the expectation. So if you're not ready to play that game, I'm not drafting Carson Beck because I think a team will give him a shot to start. It is because I value backup quarterbacks probably higher than most. But if you don't care about that strategy, don't take them. Don't take any of the quarterbacks probably after Nussmeier. Literally, Simpson and Nussmeier are the two with probably a
That's what
shot.
I was gonna say. QB3 or Quinn Ewers.
Uh, they're basically the same thing. And Quinn Ewers was an afterthought last year. And he
Which
was a
one?
6th-round pick.
Which one right now?
So
QB3 in this class or Quinn Ewers?
probably Quinn Ewers because you know his situation, and he's probably got a stone's throw shot to start day one because they don't have anybody else. Yes.
Yes. I don't think any of these guys are maybe backup. I would, like, when you look at the backups, like Carson Beck or Marcus Mariota, it's like, oh, it's not even. These guys stink, is what I'm saying. Long story short.
So I'm going to say something positive about the draft class. Because we looked at basically the second round and beyond as being uninspiring, it brings all the rest of the guys that have not been picked yet much closer to the guys that win at 204. You know what I mean? Like if I am stuck making a bunch of 4th-rounders and picking up guys off waivers, I can't remember a year where those guys were as close as the guys that went in the early second. So if you're stuck with some picks and you're desperately going like, man, like I looked at a team yesterday, that DC5 best ball league, Ray.
Uh-huh.
Your boy Charles Chill went into the wrong class because I'm sitting on about 15 picks from the 203 to the 412. But you know what? I thought about, man, maybe I can move. Do you really think anybody's going to give me anything for that 410?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
so
not.
I'm better off taking. It's already a lost cause. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
value sunk. So I'm better off sticking with those picks and trying to take the right shots at the right players that I like because that's how far down they are.
Well, you're not better off. That's called no choice, my friend. That's not better off. You're just making lemonade out of the shit.
That point is trying to trade them.
Yes.
I think the takeaway from this is if you can find, and you're going to have to be more creative than ever to probably move some of these picks. Add a pick to something that is if you see a 2% improvement somewhere.
What's going to do it, Scott? What's going to do it? Because we talk about the windows, right? And there was a little bit of buzz at the very beginning, but I think that was just at Senior Bowl time. So let's pump some stuff up. But that fizzled out quick. So the first stage of creating ADV flopped. A lot of the guys that were supposed to go didn't show up. Casey Concepcion, some of these other guys, they didn't show, right? So will the combine afford us that opportunity? If Emmett Johnson runs a 4.3, if Jonah Coleman runs fast, will that start to create some buzz to turn these picks forward a little bit?
So I usually use the combine as two positions really can benefit from the combine. Tight ends for sure. Because tight end is the one position where you can compare athletic testing, size metrics to previous ones and go, okay, I feel more comfortable about the tight end 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a position that if we redo this draft, we'll redo one of these 2 PPR drafts after the tight end or after the combine. And I bet you there's like 7, 8, 9 tight ends that people take higher than where they went today.
I agree with that.
And then because there's no difference between a 2nd-round tight end and a 4th-round tight end. If they're going to be on the field,
correct,
and the premium is high enough,
I agree.
That's where you find the Gunnar Helms and the A.J. Barners, those types. And they don't have to be great to be usable. The second one is the running backs. I do think running backs, for as bad as maybe the class is right now, I don't think we're going to, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we're going to get anything that can happen with this RB class where guys are just going to be seen as supreme talents. But I do think if we get testing and size metrics and you see that combined with, hey, we got to find somebody to have some conviction on RB 2 through 8. I do think we get some more clarity. Because right now, I mean, I told you there were 6 running backs that I honestly could have taken above Mike Washington or Nick Singleton or honestly all the
People
way
need
down to like
names.
K.
People need names. People need names because those are just common names, right? But somebody like Mike Washington, which do you know he's going to be damn near 26 years old as a rookie? He's 20. It'll be 25, but neither here nor
And
there.
the only thing I've heard good about Mike Washington is people talk about he's got good hands and he's big.
And he's
But that's
big.
all I've heard. That's all I've heard.
If he
And what does
runs,
big get you in the NFL if you don't have any other skills that get you on the field?
but
I don't
here's
know.
the thing. You know why he got picked where he is because people are talking about him, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
people that's where the buzz is at, is around him, is around some of these guys. The combine will create that for some running backs. Like Damon
Yep.
Claiborne will run fast. And then wherever he went here, I guarantee you he'll get picked higher. He should run real fast. And then you'll be like, okay, Wake Forest, not bad, good hands, such and such. Brugler tweeted about him. Now he'll be one that rises up. But the tight ends and the running backs, I guess that's. And then if receivers do, so people will like what the receivers do. Maybe from a data standpoint, it may not matter, but the feeling to see a receiver run a fast 3 cone, to run a fast 40, to look good in the drills, like people want to see that, especially as much as people are paying attention to the drills now itself, like the gauntlet and other things. Like people want to see how the receivers look out there. So if you get a guy that starts to get talked about a lot, KC, Boston, like someone's looking for that next level of receiver. Like I want to be able to. I don't want Surratt and Cooper and all of them to field back to back to back to back. I want somebody to stand out. So we'll come away with what people believe will be that next wave of receiver. Whether we want to draft them or not is something else, but there'll be another group of receivers that people will start to talk about too.
So Jeremy Bernard didn't get picked. And I know he's not really inspiring for a lot of people, but that still feels like a guy that'll go in the first 3 rounds, don't you think?
I don't think
Maybe
so,
even
man.
late round two.
I don't know, man.
You don't think?
I think it's going down for a reason. No one's really talking about him. But if you just watch, like, if you like turn on the tape and you look at the analytics, it's just not good. I think some of his advanced numbers are very, very poor across the board at some of the good historical stuff. And then we did a film thing in here with him the other day, and people were like, "This is the worst guy that I've seen." Like this, and
Okay.
they're just, and I think people are seeing that like I think he's just falling down, and that was Todd McShay's wide receiver 2 coming into the year.
What about Skylar Bell?
People will like him, but from a fantasy perspective and what we do, I'm staying far away from him. Damn near 1,000
Okay.
yards of yak. Like I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson with those kind of guys.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the
Yeah.
board and I see
No, I
like
like it.
Antonio Williams and Jacoby Lane, and I'm like, I tend to, my strategy at receiver. If they're not top 2 round picks,
Yeah.
I'd rather just go at another position, especially in a 2 PPR league. Like I'd almost rather get a backup quarterback than just spray at a receiver. I'm not saying you can't find good receivers, but I mean, hell, you could argue taking the John Carroll dude higher than those guys that got
Where do
drafted.
you think? Let me pull the board back up real quick since we're still here. I'm just going to give you a couple of names from 25 and tell me where you think they would slot in on this board, receiver wise. Okay. And I'm not even giving you big names, Scott. Where would Isaac Tesla be?
Probably in the Chris Bell, Malachi Fields range.
We're already pretty damn high, and I agree with you. He's probably in that range right now. Where would Chimry DK be?
I mean, probably the same range.
Probably
I
in
think
that
any of the
range.
receivers that didn't
I'm
show
going,
up as duds last year, yes.
but I'm not just going the ones that didn't show up as duds. These are ones towards the bottom of the desirability pool here, right? Like
I mean, I would take
where
Trey Harris.
yes.
I would take Kyle Williams ahead of Chris Bell and Malachi Fields because he's on the Patriots.
Where would
It's a good
Trey Harris be?
situation.
Where would Trey Harris be on this board?
Probably right in that range.
He'd,
I mean,
I think
argue
he'd
Trey
be
Harris
in
and
the
Kyle
first.
Williams over
I
Surratt.
think Trey Harris would be clearly over Omar Cooper on here. Clearly, as
Okay.
right after Boston, Trey Harris would be coming off. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't think of any other 25 receivers right now. I'd throw them out there, but
Well, here's one: Matthew Golden. You know where he's at. I would take him over Jonah Coleman and Jadarian Price.
I'll tell you this: the prospect of Golden would have come off the board right after Tate. If the way people were talking about him, then he'd be right there. Pat Bryant. Oh, Pat Bryant would be. He'd be above Branch. He'd be in the Surratt Cooper range. Pat Bryant.
Yeah, I think the fact that we're already debating guys like Pat Bryant and Kyle
Let me give you
Williams
one more,
Scott.
Let me give you one more, not a rookie. One more. Buried on his team, Scott Connor, but I want to know where you would take this player. Ryan Flournoy. Where would he go? Where would he fit amongst this right here? You're picking receivers. Where'd Flournoy go?
I mean, I'll just say it again. I think it's right at that end of the second.
The end of the second?
Now, to be fair, like some of these guys, we are still interested in them because they did show something, and we know their situation. Like some of these guys on this board, hell, it could be Jacoby Lane that lands in a great spot, and now you're like, I kind of have to think about taking him. But the point is, we're already just taking strictly landing spots for guys that are super uninspiring rookies or second-year guys from last year, and bumping them into the second round. Sight unforeseen. I don't even know who I would take if I was sitting there between Chris Bell, Malachi Fields, Chris Brazel. Like we already mentioned, it would probably be Brazel, but like I already know if I'm taking a receiver there, I'm just hoping to get something usable, or something I can flip. And if you're already there in the second, I think it just speaks to the work everybody in here has to do over the next couple weeks is you just got to get creative if you don't want these picks. It's like this is a preview of what it probably is going to look like. I saw the comment from Ty about the draft stream is going to be depressing this year. I actually think the expectations are going to be so low for the draft that actually the draft stream will be a little more, how do I say it? A little more just kind of relaxing. And it'll be such a wild card that like I have such low expectations. I'm not going to stress if this guy goes to this spot or, you know what I mean? We're there looking for almost all positivity because everything's been so negative up to that point.
Do you want 1 through 6, Scott? Just going back to the board before we wrap. Do you want 1 through 6? Like, do you want those picks? Would you move any of those picks for a playoff 27? Not any of the picks. Yeah. Would you? Yes. Would you move any of them for a playoff 27 first?
I think the inefficiency that I've seen with 103 through 105 with those receivers, because it's a pretty good guess you're getting a receiver there, right? That's going to be the best player available. I think the inefficiency is probably one of those receivers ends up very good, maybe elite. But if you go and you see what people would pay to get off of those picks, like would you trade any of those picks to get Nico Collins? Trade any of those picks to get, I don't know, Garrett Wilson? Like I think there's a debate there. Rashee Rice or any of those picks. I've noticed the market prefers the players versus those picks, where I think that level of receiver, if you're talking, like, didn't you say it the other day, you'd take those 3 picks over Igbuka?
Yeah, that's what,
Just because I think there's a chance one of those receivers or maybe 2 of them is a guy that has much more upward momentum. Like you're almost hitting the reset button with a guy like Igbuka. You know what I mean?
That's all you're doing. You're just re-rolling. Yeah, you're just re-rolling that.
Yep. Here's one more. Humor me. Where would Travis Hunter fit into this draft?
Which version?
Everything that he could be. It doesn't matter.
Like right now?
The current gamble of Travis Hunter.
Oh, some breaking news, Scott.
I saw it.
Hey, okay. All right. All right. Cards. I'll tell you what, man. Those Michael Wilson and Trey McBrides and Marv's gotta feel good. I am hesitant on Marv, but everything has to feel pretty good right now.
Who's going to be the QB? That's
That
what I'm most interested in.
that is the underlying question, but the initial response is good. Good for the good. This feels, I'd rather this black box than them get desperate and hire Matt Nagy. Hire, Vance Joseph.
So I'm gonna play Mike LaFleur here, and I'm gonna call him up. I'm gonna call up my brother. I'm gonna ask him about that Malik Willis. Maybe that's who the QB in Arizona could be. I don't know. But real quick, back to Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
You don't even know what he's gonna be. What pick would you just trade right now? ADV be damned. To gamble on Travis Hunter. Because I do think Travis Hunter is going to have to work out what he is in the future, but I could see a world where in 2 years they're like receiver is still more valuable than corner in the end. But what pick would you trade in? I think that will give people. I already know where I would trade.
110.
Give up anything after the 108 for Travis
I
Hunter.
said 110. I said 110. I said 110. That'd be where I started. It would be the 110. You said 18. I said 110. So we're in the same range. And we said at the same time, 110 for me. And because I just feel like after the 6, there'll be another 1 or 2 in there that will be talked into and I'll want, or you'll be okay with. Around that, like you say, the 9-10 range, goodbye. Goodbye.
All right, I got to ask you one more now. Now that we got the breaking news, what pick would you give up for Michael Wilson?
I'd take Michael Wilson. The thing is, if it's only going to be one of those receivers, I'd want to know which one it is. I would. I like to do what he did to expect. I think we have this gross misunderstanding of how difficult it is for rookie receivers to be like that good off the rip, and then when they are good, like to ascend to another level. Like Jaden Reed never hit another level. Addison's probably not going to hit another level. Odunze may not hit there, and it doesn't mean that they're bad, but to become a true everybody's talking about the elite receiver to hit that range is so incredibly difficult, man. It's so hard to hit that range. So if knowing what Wilson is and where he's at in this stage of his career, there's a little doubt in my mind he probably outproduces those guys. Like there's little doubt in my mind. There's little doubt.
So is it what? Wilson ahead of where you would take in the Hunter bet?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I just leave it at that. So
I,
basically,
I'd
anything
much rather Michael
anything
Wilson than
after
Hunter and would pay more.
anything after 107, would you give up for Michael Wilson?
You could have that 107.
Let's end it there.
Have it.
I don't take what you will from that comment about the state of the 2026 rookie class, but when you're you're trading for Michael Wilson there.
Where would Marv fit?
Oh, Marv because of his name and all of that, he's up there with probably right behind Tate. You'd trade 106 for Michael Wilson or for Marvin Harrison. Probably 107. 107 for sure. I think both are viable. I mean, dude, I took Ty Simpson at 107.
I know.
And I think Ty Simpson or Concepcion are the only two players even in the conversation for that pick.
I tweeted out Kenyon Sadiq. You go look on my X. His 15-plus yard catches this season. 15-yard catches. Right? The shortest clips I've ever cut up. Just go look at what they look like. And then go look at what Warren's and Colston Loveland's look like whenever I cut those up. Like, I'm not saying he ain't going round 1. I'm just telling you what I've seen on tape. And I'm like, man, this This doesn't look like one of those kind of tight ends. It doesn't look like
Okay.
how Harold Fannin looked. It doesn't even look like how Elijah Arroyo looked. It doesn't.
Last one before we get out of here, because I think this one will set the stage for Kenyon Sadiq versus the rest of the tight end group. Knowing that offensive environment-wise, the Rams are the #1 environment, and we know they've shifted away from using 3 receivers, right? They use a lot of tight ends. Terrence Ferguson or a late first-round Kenyon Sadiq? It's not a slam dunk, right? It's not a slam dunk for the new, fresh first-rounder. And this is Terrence Ferguson, so I don't think you'd put up his rookie year and go, wow. Like, he's not even close to in the range of Fannin or Loveland or Warren or even Gadsden. But he's still good on the field and had like 30 catches for a team that you know is a good offense.
No, I hear
Still
you.
a second-round pick. Like, the fact that Ferguson's even in the conversation with Kenyon Sadiq, same school. But remember where he went last year? He was like a late second, mid-second round pick in a 2 PPR, and here we are, Sadiq at 106, and I don't think it's crazy to take Ferguson over Sadiq.
I agree.
Cool. Let's get out of here. More drafts to come. Good stuff, community. Thank you for jumping
Good
in.
stuff.
If you're interested in getting in one of these, make sure you're registered on the website. Helps if you're in here because you'll get the alerts first. Then we're doing a new mock, but make sure you're registered on the website, DDFFantasyFootball.com. You can mock for free and jump in here and jump in the Discord. People are doing mocks all the time. So see you on the next one. Thanks, Ray.
Appreciate y'all.